This is I Should Be Writing Season 21, Episode 13.
But I should be writing. I should be working on my craft. I should be writing. I should be submitting my next draft. But I'm sitting home watching Doctor Who.
Hi there, welcome to I Should Be Writing. This is a podcast and live stream for wannabe fiction writers by I still feel like that sometimes, but I've been publishing since 2013. So my name is Merle Lafferty, and I've been podcasting since 2004 and publishing professionally since 2013. And it's hard to toot my own horn, but I try to give credentials because don't listen to everybody you see online, especially if you think they're being helped by AI, because that's just not good. But I'm very excited today. I have an awesome guest. Seth Haddon got up really early in the morning and to agree to do this, and we're going to talk about Volatile Memory, but also your career up to now. Hi, Seth.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
To keep myself honest, I try to talk about what I've been up to, so I won't be just the person saying you guys should be writing while I'm off playing Baldur's Gate all the time. But yeah, I've been working on a couple of projects. One self-pub project hit the rough draft mark today. I was very happy about that. And yesterday, while working on a side thing that's connected to my book, my new book, I solved a problem in the new book. And so that was one of those moments where I was just very excited and couldn't tell anybody because nobody would get what I was talking about, but I was very excited. So no actual words on the novel, but I have been doing lots and lots of writing. So probably should prioritize that tomorrow. Seth, can you tell us what you've been working on, if that's public, and if not, you can just be vague.
I've been actually working on the sequel to Volatile Memory.
Oh, fantastic.
So it's in the edit stage, which is one of my least favorite stages, because there are 5 of them and they keep going. And I like the word vomit stage a lot more than the paring down. Yes.
Yeah. Same here. Yeah, it's not. I know people who love the editing part because they can make something kind of ugly and make it beautiful. But for me, getting to the ugly part is the best part for me. So I'm with you 100%. And let me do a proper intro to you. Did that work, or did that mess everything up? No, did not mess everything up. I'm very proud of myself. Okay. Oh, God. So, to introduce our guest, Seth Haddon is the queer Australian writer of Volatile Memory, Reforged, Reborn, and Reclaimed, video game designer, producer, degree in ancient history, previously worked with cats. Some of your adventures include exploring Pompeii with a famous archaeologist and being chased through a train station by a nun.
A nun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. How many interviewers start with the nun thing? Because I wanted to, but then I had that thought of, I don't want to be like everybody else.
No one starts with it. It comes up later, and only one person has actually asked about it. It's just, and I forget every time that it's in my bio.
Yeah, it's like I'm very excited to talk to you as a writer, but you can't put that in your bio and just leave it.
Do you want me to?
Yes, please.
Do the walkthrough? Okay, so this was when I was 18, and I was dating this guy. It was like 2 months in. And I was invited to his friend's birthday party, and we rock up at Town Hall, which is like Sydney's sort of main city station. And there were a bunch of like religious protesters there. And this friend's birthday, we were going to karaoke, and she walks up to this nun, and the nun's trying to give her an anti-gay pamphlet, and she's a lesbian, so she just eats the pamphlet really slowly, like it was like a full minute, and I was like,
wow,
in fear. The nun did not chase us at this moment, right? We have an entire day of karaokeing, and about 8 hours after this incident, we are maybe an hour away via train, completely different platform, and we're heading home. and we just hear, my, it's a small world. Jesus must really want me to speak to you. We turn around and it's the nun, and this time she does chase us. And we're going down. It's like this vertical descent into the station. She's pursuing, like running down. It was terrifying. So I went to Catholic school and has already had nun trauma.
Oh no.
And then she followed us around the station until a train arrived. Because of course we got to the platform when the train doors closed, and it was like, no, we're trapped for another 10 minutes trying to avoid her spiel. But luckily she was going in the opposite direction, so we were saved.
Well, at least you had that, man. That's wow. I have not been chased by anyone through any train station. I don't think. Could be. I forgot about it. But one thing I've been really excited to talk to you about is because you have self-published things and you have a new book coming out of Tor, but your Kickstarter got you an awful lot of money. And so it looks like you're doing a hybrid thing. Can you tell me like the history of your books and how they were published, and now that you've ended up at Tor, or Tor.com, excuse me, where you see your career going?
Yeah, I do like this hybrid model a lot, but I guess when I initially got started, I was pretty anti self-pub. That's just because of the ongoing stigma, I guess, and also the childhood dream of, you know, getting a 10-book deal for $5 million right off the bat and being set for life. You know?
Still have that dream.
And having all that prestige. Same here. So I started in the queering trenches, I was writing a completely different novel. I'd been tinkering with it since I was 18, so it was, you know, really bad. And I was about 22, I think, when I got rejected by my now agent, and she offered to send it to Blind Eye Books, which is a really small press in Washington run by two lesbians. Like, it's literally a two-person team. And I was like, okay, fine. And they also rejected it.
I'm sorry. Did she say she was not going to represent you, but you should send it to this? Or she would send it for you, but not vouch for you? I've not heard of this aspect of agent interaction.
I guess because she'd asked for a revise and resubmit on this particular manuscript. So it was like 5 months later. And I think she was like, she could see that I had some potential, but this particular book wasn't going to fit her list. And she knew of Blind Eye Books because she works with Jin Hale as Jin Hale's translation agent for foreign rights. So she was going to send it over, but not be my agent. And yes, then Blind Eye Books rejected this particular manuscript, but offered me a mentorship. So Nicole Kimberling, the editor there, was like, you've got potential. I can see something. Would you like to write a novella with us? I was like, yes, I would like to write a novella with you. And then I failed writing the novella because I waffle. So like the first chapter was like 6,000 words. And I was like, I can't do this. Yeah, and that became Reforged. So eventually Nicole was like, all right, let's just write a novel. And that was Reforged, which was my debut. So it was this, small press book. And then that did really well through TikTok. I dressed up as my main character. So it was my cosplay history. I was like, let's put a wig on and see what we can do. And that just blew up, and the book did really well. And then I got 2 more books through Blind Eye Books, which is Reborn and Reclaimed, all set in the same world, queer standalone fantasy vibes. And then by the time Reforged was coming out, I had another traditional publisher like Facebook DM me and ask if I had an agent, and so I contacted Maeve immediately, and she took me on from there. So it was like a really roundabout way to getting an agent. I failed the query trenches and then she sort of just lifted me out
Wow.
when I sent a plea. But she was like, "What else do you have?" And talking about what else was on my to-do list. And then she basically represented per book until Reclaimed, and then sort of signed on for whatever I develop next. So when Reclaimed was done, that's when I started writing Volatile Memory. As for the Kickstarter, that's like set in the same world. So it was like a self-published prequel to Reforged with like the same characters and everything. I just wanted, this was my game design production hat. I wanted to manage a project, like a full creative project. It was my own work. And that did really well. We got about 40K AUD, which I don't know what that is in US. Probably like half
once you get into the 40,000, I'm just thinking, it's a lot.
Anyway. It was incredible. It was it's done really well, and it was like a beautiful special edition I got to make.
Oh, that's lovely. Oh wow.
And it's like all pretty, and so that did incredible, and I can't wait to do my next one because I love project management. Apparently, it's a weird quirk of mine. But I absolutely adored doing that. But that also required, because I'm Tor. My book with Tor.com comes out July this year. So if you're doing hybrid, there are like all these little quirks. Like we have to carve that out in the contract. Like Seth's gonna do a self-publishing thing. Are you cool with this? So this is a really long response to your question of where do I see my career.
There was a lot.
Where I see my career, I think I really like this model. I like the freedom of self-pub and I guess the support of traditional publishing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always good I got an email from a friend I hadn't heard from in a long time because he saw my book advertised on Facebook. And so I was like, okay, good. They're spending money on Facebook and getting the right audience, clearly. So I felt good about that. So let's talk about Volatile Memory. It's a fascinating book. Would you call it a haunted mask book? A haunted science fiction mask? Science fiction haunted mask?
Yeah, there's been several ways. People are like cyberpunk romance, sci-fi adventure novel, but I like the haunted mask as a nice phrase.
Yeah.
Yes. It's a sapphic book and it's a novella, so I figured my novella writing skills out. It is set in this ultra capitalistic hellscape in the future where the government in this particular sector of space is really corporate. It's run by a corporate government, effectively. And everyone in this world has access to these masks, which are run by these complex AIs that sort of take on animalistic qualities. So there's like a rabbit mask that the main character wears that gives her prey animal instincts, like alerting her to potential danger and, how to get away and giving her like a rabbit kick strength and stuff. And there's like rattlesnake and there's things with like snap jaws and a crow mask that lets you figure out how shiny and expensive certain objects are.
I love the crow mask. That was inspiring. Yeah.
And basically the main character is a trans woman who can't really get a respectable job. She's a scavenger in this world, and she answers a call that goes out to all scavengers nearby that there's a really lucrative mask on this nearby moon with software and hardware that's never been seen before on market. So if she get out of poverty, if she can sell it, it's like a lottery win. So she gets to the planet and she's fighting off friends to get to it. And when she picks it up, she has to pull it off the corpse of a dead woman. And inside that mask is a consciousness. It's either an AI that thinks it's human or it's actually a human mind. that believes it to be the dead woman she's just pulled it from. So now she's in a bit of a conundrum, because can she sell a human mind? Is she cool with that? What's going on? And yeah, that's kind of where we go.
So you started out with, haven't read your earlier books, but they do look quite fantasy, almost Regency type stuff. This is a major genre switch for you. And I'm always interested to hear, like, what led people to do that.
I wanted a break, I think, from fantasy. It's like I'd been in this writing course when I was writing that book that went nowhere, and my mentor there sort of recommended that I take a step back from fantasy and try to write something as like a palate cleanser when I finished that draft. So I wrote what would become the first chapter of Volatile Memory. I had I was like, masks, sci-fi, that's about it, really. Yeah. And so I just wrote a sort of action chapter. And then when I was done with Reclaimed, I just thought about what I wanted to do, I guess. And I wanted to explore sort of like transhumanism as a concept and the future of humanity. I liked the idea of masks. I was interested with the sort of conversation between humanity and technology, and also about actual transness, like gender, and how it functions currently in our society. And I just thought, why not do sci-fi? I love sci-fi. I think I was under the impression initially that fantasy would somehow be easier to write, in the sense of you're making so much up in terms of like world building, even if there's an internal logic. I think I felt intimidated by sci-fi, especially like hard sci-fi. My dad's a big Ian M. Banks fan, and sort of introduced me to a lot of science fiction. And I think I have daddy issues, so there was also a like, I don't want to disappoint my father.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. But yeah, I'm really glad I made the jump, because I adore science fiction. Yeah.
And so you said you've already done the sequel to this. Do you think you'll go back into fantasy, or are you like in science fiction for the foreseeable future?
I think I'm in speculative fiction for the foreseeable future, but yeah, I don't see myself necessarily adhering to one genre or the other. Like, the next idea I have is a deep sea cannibalism book, eldritch horror, toxic old man yaoi. I am all for.
I am on board with deep sea cannibalism. Not enough people are writing cannibalism books today, people.
I agree.
Get on that cannibalism. It's more than just monsters eating victims. Let's see. People in the chat are excited about the book.
Yay!
And the Kids Are Asleep did say start with a nun earlier on, so you did the right thing there. So let's talk about you as a writer. What can you tell us about your writing routine?
Well, I'm lucky in that for the last year I've been writing full time as an author. So I do try to treat it like a job. I'm just kind of bad at getting up before 9. So it's not a typical 9 to 5, really. I guess my writing routine really depends on what's on the cards. Like, if I have a deadline from Tor.com, then it's like I know exactly what I'm working on, versus I have some break time. I can write 3 projects at once and skip between them and do whatever I want. So I'd say it's a mixture of writing and marketing. And being, I guess, present online, I count that as part of the job, because I guess I have a fan base that do like to DM me and then reach out and have conversations and things like that. So being semi-available with boundaries is
Very important.
Important. Yeah. For the actual writing, I try to go to the library often. I have a local library that is architectural wonder. It's actually like a beautiful building, and there's also a cafe on site, and you can bring your little food and coffee up and write away. So I like going someplace else, because being close to my bed is dangerous. And I will convince myself that I really am done for the day at 2 p.m. If I stay at home. So yeah, I try to, if I am like trying to draft, I try to get about 2K done a day, but that is it really fluctuates for me. I'm not good with the consistency. Some days I'm fighting to get 1K down. Other days I'll be like 5K, easy. It's all over the place. And then marketing, I'll be in Canva some days, just making a bunch of posts and videos. I think that's about it, really. Plotting, I actually really dislike. I used to be a pantser, and I'm reformed,
Wow.
and it's difficult. Yeah, it's really hard being
That
a
nun taught you.
reformed pantser. Yeah, the nun was my agent this time. They're like, you have to plot. I'm like, okay, I'll plot. It has been helpful, unfortunately. Knowing what you're doing before you write does help. I'm sad to say.
Well, the problem I have with that is when I get started, that's when the really good ideas come. So I won't necessarily be writing what I told them I would write, because I've got a much better idea. So,
yes,
yeah, I get it. It is good to know what you're going to write, but I still get we'll see.
I go off script. So, yeah, I do go off script.
I do too, and that's usually what makes edits so difficult.
Yes, that's true. Instagram is my most active currently. It's just at Seth Haddon. I do have TikTok, and I was, I was sort of bullied onto TikTok, and then yes, my friends were like, "You have to get on this," and I am grateful to them, because that really helped. But then the algorithm there is mean and doesn't like queerness, and also punished me when I had colored hair. Anytime I dyed my hair a strange color, it would kill all my views. And I was like, okay, well, this is mean. So I tried to branch off into Instagram.
Sorry, I'm just grumbling about the bowing to the algorithm. It's like back in my day when podcasting started, we didn't have an algorithm. You followed somebody, you saw their content.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Wild, isn't it?
I wish.
Good old days.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm sorry I interrupted.
No, it's fine. It's mostly those two. Like I occasionally go back onto TikTok, like maybe this time, and then I'm like, I can't. Because I used to post pretty much every day. Like I was like, I will commit. And then I was like, I'm too old for this, actually. So I can't do this. I much prefer Instagram as a platform, yeah. And I have a newsletter and a Patreon and all that as well.
Okay. We'll have links to those things in the show notes. And we're going to get to some other questions in a moment, but we'll say goodbye for the podcast feed. If you would like to hear the rest of the interview, you can check me out at patreon.com/mightymur, where we'll have just a little bit more with Seth, and the episode is ad-free, and you'll get it a little bit early. I still feel like such an asshole saying that, but damn it, I've been giving away content for 20 years.
But I'm sitting home watching Doctor Who.
Is there anything that you would like to talk about that we haven't touched on? Anything more about Volatile Memory you want to tell us about?
Yeah, I mean, this book is, I think, probably the best thing I've written. I think it's very different to the Re-series in terms of structure and perspective. It's written in second person. which people find interesting, but there is a it's a polarizing choice.
It absolutely is, but
yeah. But it serves a function in this novella.
I thought it fit it fit your novella. It did not. It didn't feel like you were just throwing a test of something in there. It worked.
Thank you. I guess I really want people to read it. There is actually an excerpt up right now on Reactor Mag of, I think, the first chapter, so people can read that for free. I also have a little pre-order campaign going. I'm going to send everyone a little bookmark if they pre-order the book and fill out my little Google form. Then
nice. Worldwide?
Send you a book. Yes, worldwide.
All right.
There's like 3 people in Australia. My audience is in the US.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to have you on to hopefully help your pre-order stuff.
Thank you so much.
And we've gotten your URLs and stuff, and the book is Volatile Memory, and it won't be out until July 22nd, so plenty of time to pre-order. So thank you so much, Seth, and thank you guys, and you should be writing. Thank you for listening to I Should Be Writing, the longest running writing podcast on the internet. This episode was made possible by The Fabulous, who support the podcast via Patreon or Ghost. You can find the links to how to support at merverse.com. Theme music provided by John Anelio, art provided by Numbers Ninja, podcast hosting provided by Libsyn. This episode is released under Creative Commons Attribution Non-Commercial No Derivatives 4.0 license. And you can find all of my books and podcasts at merverse.com.